right then. Now it's 9:15. Good evening, everyone. So welcome to tonight's conversations with Terence. So 2 weeks ago, we have this program that I have these conversations with Terence. At that point of time, it's just the US elections just completed, and we were waiting for the results. And at that point of time, we did spoke about some of the US stocks and some of the recovery stocks. Since then, the landscape has changed completely. Wouldn't you agree, Terence?
Yes, totally changed.
Okay, so what we are going to talk tonight is that because the market now is very dynamic, whatever that has been established earlier, that has sort of like make people change the whole entire directions. I think not only the US presidential elections, but mainly because of the vaccine being found. And as you all would notice from the market is that since the first vaccine was being announced, which is by Pfizer, was announced last Monday, what happened was that the stock market started to run up. And in fact, it has not been stopped. It has been running up again and again. Yeah. And last night was even, a big boost to the market. So anyway, tonight we have Terence here. Terence is, in case you all do not know him, Terence is one of the most prominent financial blogger in the market. So he is a fund manager. He invests his own funds. And at the same time, he's a blogger, and he helps people to invest in, he helps people to invest their money and to make those money grow further, So Terence, over to you. What do you think about this this so-called sudden surge in the market? How do you read the market from this point onwards? Yeah.
Okay. Just to clarify a bit, I'm not a fund manager. I am so-called. That there are some funds with me that my friends have placed with me. So I just invest together rather than say I'm fund manager. That would be more appropriate. Okay, so anyway, back to the question on what Jimmy has shared, right? Maybe just let's talk a bit about what happened last 2 weeks first. I was thinking like Macy. I thought about Macy. I was like wondering, wow, did anybody join me with this in this ride? To get on this ride before it jumped, right before the vaccine was announced. Then I was like thinking, what got me to the point of this where I've made about 20-30% within 2 weeks ago, right? Between 2 weeks and now it's about 15, 16 or more than 20%. So I just like to clarify before this that probably I think luck and discipline plays a part. In this sense, I would say that the vaccine is lucky for me that the vaccine came along and Macy jumped. I mean, I won't even say she went up. She jumped. So, and then it's like when I say luck and discipline works together, right? If you're unlucky, right, you have to be disciplined, right? You just have to stay on the course and then just wait for the luck to come along. So that's how it works together, right? So if you're disciplined, then good, then you will get lucky. So that's how I see this Macy's this gain that I had. So with regards to Jimmy's question, when I look at this vaccine, right, I was like, yesterday I was looking through the stocks to discuss like what should I talk about today, right? I was looking through, then I think, I can talk about this and that and that. Then at 6 p.m. or this evening when I was going home from work, right, I was like telling Jimmy, hey, Jimmy, can I'm very scared. No, I won't even say I'm very scared. What I think about yesterday is no longer workable today. I told Jimmy, for example, I think we had some small discussion on the WhatsApp on SETS itself, and then today's SETS is like $4 plus. Before we started this, we were like generally discussing, and I was telling Jimmy like, the SETS chart looks like SETS is climbing up a mountain wall instead of climbing up the stairs. Yeah, it's not slowly. It's like 3 or 4 days, then it just went up. So and then telling people to buy now, you also don't know is it correct. Telling people not to buy now, I also don't know is it correct. So it's ironic that we have a vaccine and suddenly everybody is so happy, right? So I came up with this analogy. how we can deal with this situation, right? You know, when everybody have a partner, right? You can have your partner can or even a friend. You have a friend that has extreme mood swings. The mood swing can go from happy to sad on every different day. So in a short-term relationship, right, you'll probably have to think about what is going to happen, what your partner is thinking, or what your friend is thinking tomorrow, right? So this is a short-term relationship. But if you have marriage in mind with your partner, you want to think on the long. If you have on a long-term basis, right? Probably on the short term, right? People can mood swing, on the extreme happiness. When she's very happy, then good lah. You can also be very happy. So that's how I see this vaccine, how it's working, and then how it's causing the market to change from very sad to very happy. And tonight things may change again. If US market suddenly say, oh, the future's down, whatever, then right, moving forward tomorrow, Singapore market could be down, right? So there's a lot of uncertainty. I would say if with the vaccine, it caused more uncertainty. But when I stay at the start, right, luck and discipline plays a part. We just have to be disciplined. And if you are looking in a long-term trend, we just have to stay on course. So that's my view of this vaccine right now. Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
so no problem. So Terence, if you are looking, so generally I can summarize for you. What you're saying is that the vaccine actually bring optimism into the market. Am I right to say that?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I think it's fair because stock market is being driven by sentiment. I don't think any one of us we will deny that. But let's say going forward, let's say if you want to pick another two stocks, other than sets. I look at SIA today. Today is like break the $4 mark. And I was like, wow, goodness, they are still losing a lot of money and yet they break the $4 mark already. But anyway,
yes.
my point here is that other than this so-called the travel stock, the airline stocks, what other stocks that you think that, let's say even there's the corrections and with this optimism around that will actually carries forward, investors sort of like can even buy right now and be sure that say towards the end of the year or maybe at the beginning of next year that will have quite a bit of upside, with a strong fundamental to support the price. Do you have anything in mind on that?
I before I start, I also like to clarify that SIA, no, please don't go for SIA. We don't FOMO into SIA, because let's just say regardless what's happening, right, the travel industry is still not recovering as of now, right? People are still people are still not traveling. If travel suddenly open up and then do you think a lot of people will travel? No, right? People will still stay on course and wait for the vaccine. There will be 50% of people that's doing this, and maybe so regardless, traveling itself on the airline is will still be relatively muted regardless at which phase we are at, if the vaccine is not it's not within the mass market yet, right? So SIA, no. But with regards to other stocks, right? Actually, I went through this just to share a bit on that. I actually have this approach where I have this fundamental scorecard. It's a website. So I have this website that I use it for my quantitative research, right? Which last 2 weeks I also shared with Jimmy on some of the stocks, right? So this time around, let's I also pick about three stocks itself. I'll explain some of the reasons later. So now I'm sharing it. Give me a minute. Let me share the scorecard. I call this scorecards lah. Okay. So for those that don't know, this is from fundamental scorecard. So okay, I have actually 3 companies to share today. So first one, as you can see here, I'm looking at Genting Singapore Limited. To be honest, on Monday yesterday, it was below 80 cents.
80 cents.
Yeah. Now it's about 84 cents if I'm not wrong. But I'm still talking about this. There's a reason why, right? One of the main thing is I think we should look at the point where let me go back to the fundamental scorecard first. At that point yesterday, I think the current price is still close to the relative intrinsic value. So if I hold on the long term, right, my view is that I still have significant upside from this for this company. And as you can see here, right, although quite small here, sorry. Let me see whether I can enlarge it. Give me a minute. Okay, as you can see here, the fair value range is between 33 cents to $1.14. So there's still, in my scorecard, it tells me that there's still some upsides to this company. So I'm not so worried as of now. And one of the main thing I would like to bring across to everybody is that, we have this Singapore rediscover, I think rediscover vouchers, right, Jimmy?
Yes, we have.
Yeah. So these vouchers actually allow people to go to zoo, to go to these places, zoo, bird park, everything. So I've selected mine. Probably I'll go to zoo or one of the happy places for my daughter. But the thing about this is when I was looking through the list of approved places, right? I think the two casinos are considered as attractions approved by the Singapore tourism board. So that's something interesting that I think, wow. So that and it gives me a view like $100. I purposely put it at $100 kind of thing. Go in once, then overnight let people enjoy one whole night of gambling, I would say. But I'm sure some of the people, I mean, I actually thought about it, so I'm sure people have thought about it. So that's one thing that probably could bring some more revenue to the Genting Singapore as of now. But provided that the share price doesn't keep jumping up the next few days. I mean, I'm not sure whether how fast it will go. So that's one of the company. Genting Singapore was one of the company I would like to discuss about. So another one is this. This is the one. I used to own this company prior to lockdown, and it went drastically. I mean, then after that, I sold off. But having said that, right, I like to explain about this thing on. Similarly, I'm also looking at the intrinsic value. Valuation is something that's very hard to. It could be subjective. It's very hard to understand. So I actually created this valuation, a way of valuation. Like I say, discipline. If I stay disciplined and stay on course, right, I will probably get lucky someday and then make gains on certain other companies, right? So my course is okay. I look at this valuation. This is okay. It says the intrinsic value is significantly higher than current value. So with that, right, then I look back to the qualitative aspect of this business, right? Struggle. What do we have? We have Singapore Flyer. We have China. A few China companies, right? I would say companies. I would say landmarks. I think Shanghai. What is that? Aquarium. I think Shanghai Aquarium and then two others. So the thing why I'm saying struggle is that I'm not saying the tourist is going to come back and then yes, they're going to make a lot of money. I'm just saying that this is another place in China, right? People in China got nothing to do at home, right? If going lockdown again, nothing to do, then they can go and visit this kind of landmarks. In Singapore, similarly, we have $100. Some people will just sit on a flyer and go one round, and that could be leftover. I don't know how much is it, but generally that's how I feel, right? People could use some of the fund money for the flyer as well. And the fact is that the share price didn't jump today, didn't jump significantly today. And one of the main reasons is I saw the report is that there's there's a significant drop in revenue in their last business update. So this could have caused some of the negative effect on the company. But having said that, this is one of the company that I see. I mean, you don't wait for the company. I mean, if you look at recovery stock, you don't wait for the company to recover already, then the share price jump, like what SES happened today, right? Then you go and buy, right? That's a bit FOMO. That's a bit so this is some of the companies that I think we can keep a watch list. We can keep a watch out on those companies, and we can read more about it, their business, and to understand more.
Well,
and
great.
Send just one last one. Sorry for the taking too much time. So one last. This is I thought about REITs REITs is something that I don't really always invest in. The reason why I choose Capital Land Integrate Commercial Trust, right? I hope CICRCT is a newly formed REITs with a combination of Capital Land and Capital Commercial Trust. So what I'm looking here is not really at the valuation, because to be honest, nobody look at valuation for REITs, right? So we we actually look at Singaporean looks at dividend, but I look at something else that's here in my scorecard, which is called moat. Moat is something like how much the competitiveness of the company is within its industry or within the whole spectrum of Singapore. So looking at the moat score, right? This moat score is actually the highest among all the retail REITs. And why I choose retail REITs? Because generally, if Singapore already open up to phase 3, right, everybody just go out shopping, right? And then last weekend, my wife said that she went Orchard. She went alone. I was at home taking care of kids. So, but I mean, she went Orchard, and then she actually she said that it was super crowded. Then I was like, I can imagine that, right? I mean, I've been around shop walking as well. I see people like, Ashton today is like long queue, dinner, lunch, whatever. I mean, it's working day, dinner also long queue. I don't understand like people really just want to get out of the house, right? So this company is something that I think is interesting. Yeah. Back to you, Jimmy. Sorry for the long.
No problem, no problem. Well, so for those who are actually in front of the screen, whether you are on Zoom or you're on Facebook, if you have questions, you can actually type on your chat box so that we will have some time for Q&A. And if you like to share, that video to in your Facebook, please do so, and so that more people would get to know how Terence evaluate his stock pick. So back to you, Terence. So you have picked two what we call travel related stocks, tourism and things like that, which basically right now we are in a recovery so-called stage, but then you have already sort of like embarked yourself into all this traveling kind of related stocks, which I agree. And you pick CICR. May I ask, is there any reasons why you would, pick this as your so-called your top choice? I mean, let's say supposing without the CICR, what is your second best, REITs that
in terms of REITs, right? Probably I just talk about general sense. For REITs, I'm actually looking more at retail REITs, because I feel that when Singapore already opens up, right, retail is the first industry in retail is probably the first REITs that will recover faster. I mean, those retail REITs. So I'm talking about companies, REITs like Fraser, Centrepoint, I think. Sorry if I'm wrong. You please correct me. I'm not a REITs expert. Star Hill Global. SPH, yeah. So this kind of REITs will recover faster, and in terms rather than office or industry or hospitalization or not hospitality REITs. Yeah. So retail REITs will recover fast because people are just, going out and shop, right? It has already, to be honest, I think nowadays we already see people doing that, right? So that is something that I think will recover the fastest. Talking about offices and industry, right? More and more offices, more and more companies are saying that you all can work from home, don't need to come office every day and stuff like that. I still have to go office lah, but I'm sure there are people that are working from home. The office is just there, it's just empty. Then there are also industrial wise, right? We have to understand that the economy has not recovered fully, and there are still a lot of I would say uncertainty in some of the businesses, SME businesses itself, right? So that is one of the things that probably multi-user factory kind of industrial, right? I will probably not look for it. I go for it unless those that has anchor tenant for industrial properties, for industrial REITs. If not, right, probably I'll stay on course with retail REITs, and then because I see after I'm already shopping, so I think that the first to recover is always people that go out to shop, right? Yeah.
Okay. What about hospitality? Since you have your SIA sets and Strucco, why not a CDL hospitality trust or anything like that?
I thought about that as well. Hospitality REIT similarly, it requires a lot of people going on staycation, and to be honest, I don't think Singaporeans Okay, I haven't gone on a staycation, so I'm using myself as a opinion. Since I don't do that, I'm just wondering how many people do that, right? So and then the reason why I talk about Genting and what's that, Straco, right, is because the local people can go for these landmarks to enjoy and for leisure, and then because they want to get out and enjoy themselves, right? But in a staycation, I'm not sure if everybody really wants to do that. I mean, comfort of the home sometimes is still better, right? I mean, I'm not sure about that, but I can't talk about. I can't say that this represents everybody's opinion. But having said that, I think hospitality requires relies much more on tourism, uh, especially tourists coming to Singapore, and we haven't really reached that level yet. Having two countries, I mean Hong Kong and China, only just like, okay, you can start coming to Singapore now. So I don't think it's really like people are rushing to come to Singapore because it's they really miss Singapore, kind of thing. I don't think this is happening yet. I don't see the tourists really entering Singapore yet now. So that's one of the. So I will still skip hospitality, but I won't. Maybe in a few months' time, it's always an opportunity to look into it. After all, when I said about just now, when I said this just now, right, I was like saying like you don't wait for the thing to recover, then you FOMO, then you go for it. You should go for it, and then before everything really recovers, right? So that's one of the things that, I mean, we should still put it in our watch list, but let's just stay on the watch list for now for me.
Okay, great. Okay, so I think we sort of like I have to summarize. So what you think is that during this recovery stage, the travel industry will still be the one who benefit, I would say immediately, as what you have put it across. The stocks to look at is Genting and Straco, or a light type of things. As for REITs, you are still preferred to have retail REITs to begin with, and then followed by hospitality REITs. Okay, good. Do you have more to add on top of what you have just mentioned?
With regards to REITs, not really. Like I said, I'm not an expert on REITs, but like I say, economy is still recovering. So there's a lot of things that we have to wait and see. We are still waiting and see what's going to happen. I mean, let's just go back to March, right? During that time, I was like, what's happening in the world, right? The stock is going down, economy is crashing, stock is going up. Then suddenly in April, everything is start going up, and then did I miss the jump? Like, did I miss the bottom? Right? I guess a lot of people will have that in their mind. And I was so frustrated with myself when I see the April when it start moving up. I was like telling myself, did I miss it? And I cannot. And when this jump happened, right, people start questioning. They'll have this hypothesis that, oh, this jump is what dead cat jump, whatever. I forgot. I don't know what's the term.
Dead cat bounce.
Dead cat bounce. Sorry. So people have all this view, and then you started to hear noises, and you started to see, oh, am I? Yeah, I should stay on course to like, this is a dead cat bounce. But the dead cat never come down back to the bottom, right? it bounced so high and so long and so many months. So you are in May, actually, I started deploying my funds again and started investing again. So one of the things why I started was that I saw I was on read a lot of YouTube videos, and then watch a lot of YouTubes. Then I hear a lot of gurus speak about a lot of things. So one of the things is that they told me that stock price. One of the gurus said that the stock price is a predictor. Yes, it's forward looking. It's a predictor of the future, but it could predict wrongly, right? And so that is also one of the theory that when I hear this, my heart went, wow, at last I got the answer, kind of like, yes. Yes, then that's when I really made my mind, and I went back in the market. So moving forward, I think everybody the main thing is just stay invested. Don't be too caught up with everything that's going on.
Okay, thank you. We have one questions from Facebook.
Okay.
So he's asking, what about oil and gas? What's your take on that?
Oil and gas is something that I never touched for a very long time. I mean, it's a commodity good, and then the oil and gas, your company is being controlled by Saudi Arabia. I mean, all those Middle East countries. It's not even controlled by companies. It's called controlled by countries. And the countries is that OPEC countries. Anything they say will cause the oil price to drop and will cause your share price to drop. Anything they say will cause the oil price to go up and then the share price will go up. Yeah, you're not in control of things, right? As an investor, you like to have some control, understanding of the, but you're not. So I will still stay away from oil and gas. And to be honest, if everybody start talking about EV, right? Yeah, then EV is not going to require oil, petrol. So that's really, I mean, people already, so many people say, let's look to the future, right? Then you still go back and then say oil and gas is important. It's a bit hard for me to, I've already moved away from oil and gas totally. I'm not really looking at it at all. That's my take on oil and gas.
Okay. Thank you, Terence. I have also another gentleman who actually asked, how about hospitality? You actually answered that questions earlier, but I think his specific question is that, is it a good time to load up now?
Like I say, I think just to repeat again, just put on a watch list first. I mean, hospitality there's a lot of hospitality REITs, there's a lot of hospitality related companies, but it's good that you put it on your watch list first, and then when the time will comes again where it's time to enter again, and you can enter again. Basically, when the time comes, you will know it, because it will start going down and then you will know it. Yeah, so let's just wait. I think it's good to wait. Just wait for now.
Okay. And then, of course, I have another gentleman from the Zoom. So he's asking, any thoughts on Raffles Medical Group? So
actually, I got a story on Raffles. Long story short, I was told to buy Raffles Medical Group when I said that, because I invest for friends and family. So I was told to invest in Raffles Medical Group, and then I said no, and the person told me yes, and then okay, Bobia, I just do it. Okay, you want it, you take it. Then after that, I sold off after that some losses. It was not a significant loss, but throughout this period where I Raffles Medical Group is there's two. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's two business model. One is the clinic, right, and one is the hospital. Am I right?
Yes.
Jimmy?
Yes.
So for this kind of two models, businesses, right, you can look at it as two drivers of growth. If the clinic is not driving, then the hospital can drive it. But if the hospital is not driving up the growth, then the clinic can drive. But to be honest, when you cough and I think clinic-wise in Singapore especially is a bit too competitive. Just give you an understanding. If you live in a HDB, right? I'm sure. I think downstairs your HDB don't have Raffles Medical Group one. Okay, Raffles Medical Group is in supermarket, is in shopping centers. So if I have a cough today, going down and see the doctor, it's what Northwest clinic's name, or we won't be Raffles Medical Group. So the clinic wise, I think they lose the competitiveness there because they're not in the heartlands. Then on the hospital side wise, right? Travel, like I said, there's tourism, hospitality, I mean, tourists come to Singapore to get treated. I mean, there's this business out there, right? But I don't think that if the tourist doesn't come, the Raffles Medical Group hospital also lose some of their revenues or opportunities, I would say, at this point in time. And their China hospital is really, to be honest, I don't know why is it so lousy. So I mean, I never read the business, but I feel that the business is not really working well there. And even during COVID, I don't understand why is it like that. I just can't get my mind about it. So to be honest, if anybody has went to China and look at the Raffles Medical Hospital, I mean, people can share about it, right? I mean, because I really don't understand why is it happening like that. So that part I'm not too sure. But I decided, since I'm not sure, I don't know anything, I move on for it. Yeah.
Okay. So there's another question on Zoom. What about data center REITs? Would it continue to do well, during this economy recovery phase?
I would say it will. I mean, a very easy answer is it will, but a tougher answer is how well will it do, right? Because I tend to think that it's a bit richly valued. And if you talk about data center REIT, you need to understand how it earns its. Uh, I think I'm not sure whether they ran as per how they ran it. They ran as per a hardware slot or whatever, or per no those kind of. I don't quite really understand that. So and to be honest, if you want to go for data center REITs, sorry about it. I know today's supposed to talk about Singapore stocks, but I rather look at data. I mean, I rather look at US stocks on data center itself. I mean that is more globalized and there's more better opportunities. And Singapore wise, data center REIT, there's only like one or two, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong.
Two.
Yeah. So
Two major one. Yeah.
it is quite richly valued and it's highly in demand, and the supply is quite low because there's only two versus some, all this kind of thing. So I think that it's quite richly valued. I'm a bit skeptic. I won't buy it now, so I'm not too sure about that, to be honest. So yeah.
Okay. I have one question from Facebook. So he's asking that what about these sets? Would it be going higher? So I think you have already addressed that at the beginning, but I guess you want to repeat that again. Yeah.
Okay. Sets, right? Let's just talk about sets business. It has food. It has the food is a standard. As in, it's not the food for the airlines. Is because there's no airlines, not a lot of airlines flying, so they lose revenue on that. Food is probably those SAF. They do catering for SAF, so that's one of the portion of business that is still ongoing regardless what is happening. Second portion of the business that's happening is they do the airport services, so they provide airport services, and this business will continue because there will be shipment, there'll be shipment, and these services will always be required. So there's these two services that is ongoing, but they lose a very big chunk of their revenue through the airline catering of the airline food to the airlines. So that's one of the thing that kept me away from sets, and I keep thinking about it. I can't get my mind around it, so I never invested in sets. But when I look at this jump today, like I explained, Jimmy, I think like we talked at the start, right? This is not a climb up the stairs, right? This is probably a rock climb.
Shooting star.
Yes. Sure. And when people are so optimistic about it, right, in such a short time, right, it will come down. That's my view. I mean, how much down, I don't know, but others may argue about it. Maybe in the next 2 to 3 days, let's just say it shoot up to $4, $5. You tell us, I never buy. But if in the 3 weeks or 4 weeks down the road, maybe it will come down. So to be honest, if you want to buy in sets, my view right now is that you still can buy in, but have a long-term mindset. You cannot keep it for the short term. It must be at least for 2 years, and because it will be very, very volatile, keep at least some cash on your hand to buy in sets in tranches. That's the easiest way out. Yeah. Or the best way to invest in sets.
Okay. So I think we will have just time for one last question. So there's this gentleman who is asking on the Facebook, asking that other than the local bank, is BOC and ICBC worth taking a look?
Wow, this one
a little bit far-fetched, but
I mean, I've seen the companies before.
Mm-hmm.
But if I want to choose banks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy, I think last 2 weeks we also talked about banks, and I said the provision, you wait for 2. I forgot totally what I said. Not everything, but I know there will be provision and March we will come down.
Mm-hmm.
Today I have a new. I mean, let's not talk directly about ICBC and BOC. Mm-hmm. I just talk about general banks, what's happening, okay? What may happen. We are adding provisions. Banks are adding provisions in Singapore. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure around the globe, everybody is doing the same thing. If I'm not wrong, even at the start of the crisis, even the US bank also add significant provisions.
Mm-hmm,
So when you add so much provisions, right, you know when a crisis happens, economy goes down, and then that's why they add so much provision to cater as a reserve. But what happens if not all the provisions is needed? Next year, there will be a write back. And when they write back, next year their net profit will increase, right? This year their net profit decreased, then everybody dividend drop. But next year their net profit will increase because they write back the provisions. And if you look through the trend of economy, right, every significant drop in the economy, right, there'll be a next bounce up. Next year will be like, wow, super good kind of economy. Then the GDP will like, this year is like GDP Singapore is like -5%. Next year probably we are looking at what let's just say a very normal way, 5%. So if it's 5% positive, it's like 10% jump. And then you look at banks will say, oh, we don't need this provision anymore. Let's write back. And when you write back, the net profit next year will jump. So in this way, right, is for all the banks, right, you just have to see how much provision they put up. But in terms of China banks related, companies related, right, I'm not very sure about their economic, I mean, because Singapore bank is easier, yeah, and I know them, and US bank is like, there's a lot of reporting. But in China bank, one of the things is, how much do I believe their financials? But regardless, I think BOC, ICBC is 北照 one. They will be there and they are good. You buy any banks now, just be prepared that you must wait 2 or 3 years. When everything recovers, things will be well and smooth, and then that's where your gains will come in. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right then, so we have come to a part time that we are going to end these sessions. Thank you so much, Terence. So to all the viewers up there, do you have any word of advice to to them for the next coming 1 week or 2 weeks?
Okay. Some advice is that, like I said, stay on course, stay vested. Luck will play a part eventually if you look into the long term. And then if you are interested in more things, you can find me on Facebook, T.U.B Investing Facebook. You can read my blog. I have a Telegram group called Fundamental Scorecard. You can also go to my scorecard. I have this website called Fundamental Scorecard website as well. You can go and take a look. And then I mean, you can contact me or you can contact through Jimmy Facebook page. We will just, I mean, he will direct it to me, and then I can always entertain you the questions later as well. Yeah.
Sure, we'll do. No problems at all.
Yeah.
All right then. Okay, so that's all for tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you for all your time for joining us for tonight. And so invest, stay safe, and good night to all.
Okay, good night, everybody. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.